Hey everybody, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today I'm taking a look again at my Beretta APX A1. This is the compact version. Now I should have already posted a video I did reviewing this particular handgun. I got it with a rebate, so I was able to get this firearm for under $300. Now I will say one of the reasons I bought this firearm was to mount this CVLIFE WolfCovert that was sent to me for a review. I had already considered getting a firearm that was pre-milled for a red dot so I could start practicing. I've been an iron sights guy my whole life, but I do shoot red dots on 22s and other random firearms I own, and I always liked red dots for ease of acquisition of a target and for accuracy. Sometimes on 22s having a good red dot can really help you tighten up your groups. However, I wasn't necessarily comfortable with using it for self-defense purposes. When I draw from a holster, I naturally have my iron sights ready to go, and to be able to do that with a red dot's going to take a lot of training and time, and it just wasn't necessarily something in the past I was willing to put effort into. But I guess at this point I thought, well, why not? I might as well try. I can keep using iron sights while I practice with a red dot and see if it's something that I may eventually switch to at some point. Now, one of the things about the Beretta APX1 is that it comes with a plate, I think, and I need to go back, but it may be for the Glock style mounting pattern, because as you know, there's a bunch of different mounting patterns for different types of optics. So even though I was able to get this particular APX A1 for under $300 with the rebate, I still ended up having to pay a little over $40 to get the right mounting plate to be able to mount this CVLIFE WolfCovert. Now I did an unboxing on this WolfCovert, but in case you haven't seen that video, it's basically a 3 MOA dot, or you can also switch it to a 50 MOA circle with the dot in the center. It's got a motion awake feature. It does come with an adapter plate for MOS and the Picatinny rail, but I wanted to mount it on this, and it seems to be a well-made red dot. And now I'm going to use it actually in the field, see how it holds up. This is a compact 9mm, not that that has an amazing amount of recoil, but it's certainly something that will test this particular sight to see how well it holds up for the shooting that we do today. But I'll have to start out by first sighting it in, and then after it's sighted in, I can go ahead and maybe shoot at the steel and see how I do compared to how I did with the open sights when I tested this Beretta APX1 on its own. Did I say APX? APX1 on its own. One thing I will say about the Beretta, one of my complaints when I first tried it was that the trigger was kind of stiff. That seems to have gotten a little better with usage, so it may have just been being new out of the box and need a little time to start breaking in, maybe a few hundred rounds through it to get that trigger to have a slightly better squeeze. That being said, when I shot at the steel at the previous video, I did okay. I didn't do great, I didn't do terrible, I did okay. And I'm curious to see if having a red dot on there will help me hit the steel more consistently. But before we get to that, we have to first sight it in. So let me get everything set up so we can do that. So here we are. I have my target down there at 25 yards. Might be a little far for what I'm doing here, but I'm going to try it. It's a big target. I'm going to use this bag to rest my hand as I try to sight in the red dot. I want to make sure that I'm really aiming well on target before I start adjusting the sights. So I've got 9mm loaded up. Okay, before I close the slide, let me turn on the red dot here. Okay, that's the 50 MOA dot. That's both of them together. And there's just the 3 MOA dot. That's what I want, just the dot by itself. So let's see how far to the center we are hitting. Ooh, wow. I may not have to adjust it much. Well, that one went much further to the right. Make sure I'm getting a good grip on this. Okay. That was 4 rounds. Let me go take a look at the target. The first one hit center, and then it looks like the other 3 hit to the right. So maybe I pulled that first one to the left, making it hit center. And then as I steadied my shots, I started actually hitting where the point of aim was, which was to the right. So let me go ahead and drift the sight to the left. As you can see, it's empty, so I'm not pointing a gun that doesn't have a, well, it has a round in it. So on the side, you have the adjustment for windage. has an R to tell you that if you go, this would be counterclockwise, you're going to drift the point of impact to the right, and here up counterclockwise, you'll raise it up. Now, looks like I need to raise it up a little bit and to the left. So let me go ahead. Oh, this little screwdriver is a little too big for this. No, it'll work. So I did 4 clicks up, and I'm going to do 8 clicks to the left. There we go. Okay, let's see where that side adjustment gets us. Okay, I think it did drip left, but not much as far as elevation. Where did that one hit? Okay, well, let me go and clear the firearm before I mess with the sight. I am going to drift it up a little more. And drift it left quite a bit more. I didn't even count how many clicks that was, but it was about half a turn. Let's see where we're at now. Ooh, way to the right. Okay, then maybe I should have counted clicks. Well, I'm sorry, way to the left. So let me go ahead and maybe half that amount. There we go. Let's try that. Looks like I still need some elevation. That or I'm pushing down as I fire. I don't think I am. Did that hit center? Let me shoot another round. Yeah, okay. That one I did jerk slightly high, so... well here, got more rounds. Let me fire a couple more. That was a little to the right. Oh, is that the last round? Oh, I guess I hadn't seated my magazine correctly. That's on me. Okay, let me go take a look at the target, see exactly where we're hitting. So it seems I was hitting all around the target, so I went ahead and put a new target up. Got another magazine loaded here, just to kind of really confirm where I'm hitting before I consider doing any more adjustment on the pistol. Okay, low and to the left. Hopefully that's not me squeezing my hand. Slightly low and to the left. Okay, at least I'm sort of grouping. So it looks about right, maybe slightly to the left. Maybe I need to elevate it just a tiny bit. So let me do that. Unload the firearm. And I'll show you here that is unloaded. I'll keep the slide locked back. There we go. So maybe just a little more up. I'll do 1 click up. I'll do 2 clicks up. And 3 clicks to the right, 2 clicks to the right. I'll do 3. Okay. Put the magazine back in. Try to take some steady shots here. Oof. That one caught me by surprise, which is usually a good thing, because it normally means I didn't have time to jerk the pistol Yeah, let me shoot a few more. Oh, now I'm heading too far to the right. Okay, I'm gonna do one click to back to the left. I think on height we're about right. Seems like I'm hitting all around the bullseye, but not quite. Finally, one in the middle. That one I think I pulled a little. I think I'm on target. Probably not perfectly. I mean, it's kind of hard at 25 yards. I can tell you that that dot's bouncing around a little bit. And like I said, it's not. This is no target trigger on this Beretta. So there's a certain amount of slack I pull up, and then I sort of hit the wall and then try to re-aim before I do the final trigger pull. But I think as far as getting it on target, I think we're close enough for now. So now what let me do is I'm going to load up another magazine and we're going to shoot at steel. I'll load 10 rounds and I'll just basically do some shooting on the left side, right side, and center target and see if I can keep all 10 on target. Okay, here we are. I don't know if it's the exact distance I was at the steel targets from the shooting session I had previously with the Beretta APX A1. This is a different property I have access to shoot at, so I think it's about the same distance. I'm here at, you know, about that's 25 yards there, so I'm about halfway. So what's half of 25? 12 and a half yards. I'm about 12 and a half yards, maybe 13. A little more because I'm closer to the shooting bench. So we're loaded up. Now let's see here. Do I like the dot? Yes. So let's see how well I do shooting at this steel. Oh. Not bad. Not bad. I want to say I'm shooting a little bit better and a little bit faster than I was with the iron sights. Once again, still not the best trigger. I haven't had enough range time with this pistol to really get used to the trigger. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping a steady grip and not yanking my hand at all or squeezing it as I pull the trigger. So yeah, I mean, that was actually pretty good. Let me load in a few more rounds and we'll try that again. Okay, so I got 14 more rounds. It's the last amount, well, the last ammunition in the box. I'm gonna go ahead and load it in. Now what I did change was I changed it to the 50 MOA circle with the dot in the center. So it's basically like a bullseye with the dot. Because basically you either have the 3 MOA dot, the 50 MOA circle by itself, or the circle with the dot inside. I think for quick acquisition, excuse me, I can try to speak English, the circle and dot's gonna be a lot easier to find and put on target. But if you're trying to take very precise shots, I think the dot on its own is going to be the most precise. But since we're shooting still here, precision isn't necessarily what we're looking at. So let's try this again. Nope. God. There we go. Yeah, I'm pulling down and to the left, and that's me. The sight's actually working relatively well. I think I did better with the dot by itself than with the circle dot. So at least I've realized that for me, just using the dot on its own is going to be a little more precise, and that's what I need, especially with a pistol like this. I think if I put this on one of my CZs or something with a much better trigger, I could probably hit a lot better. But all in all, not bad. Like I said, I'm not used to shooting pistols with RMRs, at least not centerfire handguns. This is really my first outing with it. And, you know, the big issue is whether or not you're going to see that sight originally when you draw your handgun. So, you know, you draw it out, is that dot out. I'm getting a little better at having that ready to go when I draw it, because it is slightly different than pulling up your iron sights, because obviously this side is about an inch higher than your sights. So unless you get a really, really low profile one that's just barely higher than your sights. But yeah, I could see how, especially if your eyes are getting a little weak, if it's a little darker where you're shooting, or nighttime shooting, or evening or morning shooting, or if you just want slightly more precise shooting, a red dot's really going to help a good amount. But you're going to have to train with it, like anything. If you're used to iron sights, don't think just putting a red dot's going to make you a better shot. You need to practice with a red dot. But as always, this was a lot of fun. In the end, I think I did shoot the Beretta a little bit better with the red dot on there. I'm going to keep this on there for a while and get some practice with it. And the CVLIFE is doing well. You know, one of the things I didn't check, which may have been the issue right now when I was shooting, was whether the point of aim stayed the same when you switched between reticles. I assume they do, but I did not test that, and I apologize, and I'm out of ammo at this point. Because when you're switching the reticles, like I said, you can have the 3 MOA dot with the 50 MOA circle, which is what I did. So I assume that 3 MOA dot is always in the same spot. So I would assume it's the same. But not bad. For the price, it's a good little red dot. It seemed to hold up to 40 rounds I've put through it today, maybe a little more than that. I'm certainly going to put some more rounds through it, and if for some reason it starts to malfunction quickly, or there's any issues, I'll make a video update. But for now, this seems to be a really good little red dot option for your carry piece, especially if you want one that's a little less expensive to start out with, to practice with, before maybe you upgrading to something else. But as always, everyone, thanks for watching. A lot of fun. The Beretta APX A1, great little pistol. I like the ergonomics. I like how it feels in my hand, much better than my Glocks. That being said, the trigger, it's going to need a little more break-in. They are not the best trigger in the world. But other than that, great little pistol. And if you got one during the time they had that rebate, you were certainly getting it at a good price. So take care, everyone. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video.